The galaxy had seen many wars, but this one looked like it would end quickly. Across the dark space, thousands of alien warships floated in perfect formation. Their ships were smooth, bright, and powerful. Blue lights moved across their hulls like living energy. This was the Xyron Alliance, rulers of many star systems. They had defeated dozens of species. No one had ever stopped them. No one, except humans. And humans were not supposed to be here. A small human fleet exited hyperspace at the edge of the battlefield. Their ships were large but ugly. Thick armor plates covered their bodies. Paint was burned away. Metal was dark, scratched, and cracked. Some ships moved slowly as if they were tired. The alien commanders stared at the display screens. Then they laughed. "These are the human warships?" one alien officer said, his voice filled with amusement. "They look like flying junk," another replied. The Xyron Supreme Commander leaned forward. His eyes scanned the data. The scans showed weak energy signals. Old engines. Outdated weapons. Everything about the human fleet looked wrong. "Relics," the commander said calmly. "They sent relics to face us." Laughter spread through the command hall. Some aliens even turned away from their screens. This battle was already won. On the human side, things were very different. Inside the largest human ship, the bridge was quiet. No one laughed. No one smiled. Men and women sat at their stations, faces serious and still. They wore old-style uniforms with faded symbols. These were not young soldiers. These were veterans. Captain Elias Rowan stood at the center of the bridge. His hair was gray. His eyes were calm. He looked at the alien fleet on the main screen. Thousands of ships. More firepower than humans had ever faced in one place. "Status," he said quietly. "All ships in position," an officer replied. "Enemy fleet is observing us," another said. "No weapons charged, yet." Captain Rowan nodded slowly. The human fleet did not move. Minutes passed. The aliens grew bored. "Human ships," the Xyron commander transmitted openly. His voice echoed across space. "You are facing the full power of the Xyron Alliance. Your ships are old. Your technology is weak. Surrender now and we may let some of you live." More laughter filled the alien channels. The human fleet did not answer. This silence confused the aliens. "Why are they not speaking?" an alien officer asked. "Fear," another replied. "They know they are already dead." The Xyron commander smiled. "Send scouts. I want to see how weak these relics truly are." Small alien ships moved forward. They flew close to the human fleet, scanning every ship. The results made the aliens laugh even harder. "These ships are ancient," a scout reported. "Some designs are hundreds of years old. Their armor is thick but crude. Their weapons, outdated." The Xyron commander waved his hand. "Lower shields. Prepare for a clean attack." Lowering shields during battle was rare. It showed complete confidence. On the human bridge, warning lights flashed. "Alien scouts approaching," an officer said. "They lowered shields," another added, surprised. Captain Rowan did not react. He simply looked at the screen. "They are laughing at us," a young officer whispered. Captain Rowan heard him. "Let them," he said. The young officer looked confused. "Sir, we are outnumbered. Their ships are faster. Stronger." Captain Rowan's voice stayed calm. "They see only the outside of our ships," he said. "They do not see what these ships were made for." The human fleet remained still. Engines silent. Weapons dark. To the galaxy it looked like fear. To the aliens it looked like surrender. The Xyron commander raised his hand. "Prepare main weapons," he ordered. "End this joke." Energy built up across the alien fleet. Space itself seemed to vibrate. Still, the human fleet did nothing. Inside one human ship, deep beneath layers of armor, ancient systems waited. They had been asleep for a long time. No one had used them in generations. A human technician's hand hovered over a control. "Captain," he said quietly, "they are charging weapons." Captain Rowan closed his eyes for a moment. Then he opened them. "Hold," he said. Across space, the aliens finished charging their weapons. "This will be quick," the Xyron commander said. "Fire." Before the order could finish, something strange happened. Inside the human ships, lights flickered. Old systems stirred. Ancient engines began to wake. And far away, among the stars, something that had been forgotten, began to remember. The galaxy was still laughing. It would not laugh for long. The alien fleet finished charging their weapons. Bright energy flowed across their ships. Cannons glowed. Missiles armed themselves. Everything was ready to erase the human fleet in one clean strike. Still, the humans did nothing. To the Xyron Alliance, this silence felt strange. They should be begging by now, one alien officer said. They know we can destroy them in seconds. The Xyron commander studied the human ships again. Something about them bothered him. Not their power. Not their weapons. It was their behavior. They are too calm, he said slowly. Why would a weak enemy remain so still? An officer replied, maybe they are broken. Old machines often fail. The commander nodded, but doubt stayed in his mind. Continue scanning, he ordered. I want full data. Alien sensors pushed deeper into the human ships. They scanned engines, weapons, armor, and internal systems. The data came back strange. These ships use layered systems, a scientist reported. Some parts are inactive. Others are sealed. Sealed? The commander asked. Yes. Heavy locks. Old encryption. Not modern. The commander frowned. Why would they seal systems during a battle? Before anyone could answer, a new report arrived. Commander, these ships match old human records. How old? Very old. From humanity's early expansion wars. The command hall filled with quiet whispers. That era was brutal, one alien said. Humans nearly destroyed themselves. The Xyron commander leaned back. Then these ships are museum pieces, he said. Relics of a failed past. Confidence returned. Enough waiting, he ordered. Prepare to fire. On the human flagship, the bridge lights remained low. The crew stayed silent. Only soft beeps broke the quiet. Captain Elias Rowan looked at a small symbol on his screen. It showed a list of ship names. Old names. Forgotten names. These ships were not built for beauty. They were built for survival. Enemy weapons at full charge, an officer said. They will fire soon. Captain Rowan nodded. Fleet status. All ships ready, came the reply. Ancient systems are responding. A young officer hesitated. Sir, those systems haven't been used in over 100 years. Captain Rowan looked at him. They were used when we had no other choice, he said. And today we have no other choice again. The officer swallowed and nodded. Across the human fleet, deep inside armored cores, machines began to wake. Old reactors hummed softly. Power lines warmed. Hidden weapon bays unlocked. These systems were not connected to modern networks. They did not rely on advanced AI. They were simple, direct, hard to stop. Built after humans learned a painful lesson. Never trust technology that can be hacked. On the alien side, alarms suddenly rang. Commander, an officer shouted. We are detecting energy spikes inside the human ships. How? The commander snapped. Our scans showed nothing. The energy signatures are old, very old. But strong. The Xyron commander stood up. Raise shields, he ordered. But it was too late. The human fleet began to change. Engines that looked dead suddenly glowed. Massive thrusters pushed the ships forward. They moved faster than the aliens expected. This is impossible, an alien officer whispered. The human ships were not sleek. They were not elegant. But they moved with force like heavy fists swinging through space. Human fleet is advancing, an officer reported. They are locking weapons. The Xyron commander felt anger rise. Fire, he shouted. Alien weapons blasted forward. Energy beams cut through space. Missiles followed. The first wave hit the human ships. Explosions flashed. Smoke and fire filled the area. The aliens waited for debris. But when the smoke cleared, the human ships were still there. Damaged, yes. Destroyed? No. Their armor had absorbed the attacks. Thick layers of metal burned, but the ships stayed intact. How are they still standing? An alien shouted. The Xyron commander clenched his claws. Focus fire. Destroy them. On the human bridge, alarms sounded. Damage reports coming in, an officer said. Armor holding. No critical failures. Captain Rowan allowed himself a small breath. Begin phase 1, he said. Across the fleet, hidden weapons rotated into position. Weapons no alien scanner had seen. Weapons designed to work even when everything else failed. The human ships stopped moving. For a single moment, the battlefield went quiet. Both fleets faced each other. Then a human voice echoed across the human fleet. Wake the fleet. Deep inside the ships, ancient reactors surged. Power levels spiked beyond alien predictions. Space itself seemed to tremble. The Xyron commander stared at his screen. What are they doing? The human ships began to glow. Not with modern light, but with the fire of an old war. The galaxy was about to remember why humans survived their darkest age. And the stars were about to burn. The human fleet glowed softly in the dark. It was not the clean light of new machines. It was rough, uneven, powerful. Across space, the Xyron Alliance watched in silence. No one laughed now. These energy levels, an alien scientist said slowly, they are unstable, but very strong. The Xyron commander stared at the screen. His confidence was fading. Identify their weapons, he ordered. Now. The scanners tried again. They failed again. The human ships were blocking scans using old methods. Thick armor, physical shielding, closed systems. Nothing modern could see inside. They are hiding something, an officer whispered. On the human flagship, Captain Elias Rowan stood with his hands behind his back. The bridge lights turned red as systems reached full power. Ancient weapons online, an officer reported. Manual targeting active. No AI control. The Xyron commander's eyes narrowed. Manual systems, he repeated. Who uses manual systems in space war? Humans did. Because humans had learned the hard way. Long ago, human fleets trusted machines too much. Enemy hackers took control. Entire armadas were lost without a fight. After that, humans built ships that could fight without thinking machines. Ships that obeyed only human hands. Inside the Relic fleet, crew members moved with purpose. These were not young soldiers trained by screens. These were people trained by pain and memory. Target locked, a human gunner said. Awaiting order. Captain Rowan looked at the alien fleet. So many ships. So much power. And yet, fear was spreading among them. The Xyron commander sensed it. Fire again, he shouted. Destroy them before they finish. Alien cannons fired. Beams slammed into human armor. Missiles exploded across hulls. Human ships shook. But they did not break. Old armor bent. Old metal screamed. But it held. These ships are tanks, an alien officer cried. They are built like fortresses. Captain Rowan raised his hand. Return fire, he said. The order spread through the fleet. Human weapons awakened. Huge cannons rotated into position. Railguns charged with raw power. Missiles slid from hidden bays. These were not elegant weapons. They were brutal. The first human shot fired. A single round crossed space. It hit an alien cruiser. The cruiser vanished in a flash of white light. Gone. The Xyron command hall exploded in panic. What was that weapon? That ship was fully shielded. Impossible. The humans fired again. Another alien ship broke apart. Then another. Human weapons punched through modern shields like paper. These weapons are not advanced, an alien scientist shouted. They are simple. Physical. High mass. The Xyron commander understood too late. Old weapons could not be hacked. They could not be jammed. They could only destroy. Fall back, he shouted. Regroup. But the human fleet was moving now. Slow. Heavy. Unstoppable. They advanced like a wall of steel. Alien ships tried to escape. Human fire followed them. One alien captain screamed as his ship lost power. Another ship spun out of control. Explosions filled the stars. On the human bridge there was no cheering. Only focus. Enemy fleet breaking formation, an officer reported. They are retreating. Captain Rowan shook his head. No, he said. They are panicking. The human fleet pressed forward. Every shot was precise. Every move was planned. These ships were old, but they carried the experience of generations. The Xyron commander watched his fleet fall apart. How could we be losing? He whispered. They are relics. A scientist answered quietly. Relics are what survive time. The commander's claws tightened. Send the elite guard, he ordered. All of them. Massive alien battleships moved forward. Larger. Stronger. Armed with weapons never before used. This was the Xyron last answer. On the human flagship, alarms rang. Elite alien ships approaching, an officer said. They are powerful. Captain Rowan's face stayed calm. Good, he said. Now they understand. He turned to the fleet channel. All ships, he said clearly. You know why these ships were built? Every human crew member listened. They were built for the moment when no one else stands with us. The human fleet slowed. Weapons charged again. Space grew quiet. Both sides prepared for the next strike. Old metal faced new power. Old souls faced fear. And the galaxy held its breath. Space went silent. No weapons fired. No engines moved. The human fleet and the Xyron elite ships faced each other across the dark stars. The Xyron elite were massive. Their ships were black and sharp, covered in glowing symbols. Power rolled across their hulls like storms. These were the strongest ships the Xyron Alliance had. "This ends now," the Xyron commander said. "Fire everything." The elite fleet attacked. Beams of pure energy tore through space. Missiles followed, screaming toward the human ships. The stars lit up as if a small sun was born. The first wave hit the human fleet. Explosions covered their ships. Fire and smoke filled space. For a moment, the galaxy believed the humans were gone. Then the smoke cleared. The human ships were still there. Damaged, burning, but alive. Their armor glowed red from the heat, yet it did not break. "How?" an alien officer screamed. On the human flagship, alarms rang loudly. Direct hits across the fleet. Multiple hull breaches. Casualties reported. Captain Elias Rowan closed his eyes for 1 second. Then he spoke. Phase 2. Deep inside the human ships, something unlocked. Systems older than the Alliance itself came online. "These systems were sealed for a reason," a human officer whispered. Across the fleet, ancient reactors surged. Energy flooded through forgotten pathways. Warning lights turned white. "Power levels rising beyond safety limits," an officer said. Captain Rowan nodded. "Let them rise." The human ships changed. Armor plates shifted. Hidden sections opened. Massive weapon arrays unfolded. The Xyron elite sensors went wild. "Commander," an alien shouted. "Energy spikes everywhere. They are overloading their own ships." The Xyron commander stared in shock. "They will destroy themselves," he said. "Fools." He was wrong. The human fleet fired. The stars burned. Human weapons released raw power into space. Beams of light and solid mass crossed the battlefield. Explosions bloomed like dying suns. One Xyron elite ship vanished. Another split in half. Shields failed. Hulls melted. Alien ships screamed through open channels. "This is impossible. Our shields are gone. We cannot stop them." The human fleet moved forward. Each ship fired in perfect timing. Old cannons roared. Railguns punched through space. Missiles exploded deep inside enemy hulls. This was not a battle. It was an execution. The Xyron commander watched his elite fleet collapse. "Retreat," he shouted. "All ships retreat." But the human fleet did not chase wildly. They hunted. Human ships targeted engines, power cores, command vessels. Every shot had a purpose. The battlefield turned into fire. Stars reflected burning wreckage. Debris drifted like ash. Space itself glowed. On the human bridge, smoke filled the air. "Reactor heat critical," an officer warned. "Cooling systems failing." Captain Rowan did not look away from the screen. "Hold fire," he said. "Let them see." The human fleet stopped firing. Silence returned. What remained of the Xyron fleet drifted, broken and burning. The Xyron commander sat in shock. "We underestimated them," he whispered. "They are not weak. They are not old." He opened a communication channel. "This is the Xyron Alliance," he said slowly. "We request ceasefire." Captain Rowan listened. Then he replied. "No," he said calmly. The human fleet powered weapons again. The Xyron commander's eyes widened. "You will destroy us all." Captain Rowan's voice was steady. "You already tried," he said. "This is the answer." The human ships fired once more. The last Xyron command ship exploded in a wave of light. Seconds passed. The battlefield was quiet. The stars burned with wreckage and fire. The galaxy watched in fear. The Relic fleet had awakened. And nothing would ever be the same again. The battlefield was no longer a place of laughter. Broken alien ships drifted through space, burning slowly. Fire and metal filled the dark. The Xyron Alliance fleet was shattered. Moments ago they had mocked the human ships. Now they feared them. Across the remains of the Xyron Armada, distress signals screamed through open channels. Alien voices were full of panic. "Our shields are gone. Engines failing. We are losing control." The human fleet moved forward in silence. They did not rush. They did not celebrate. They advanced like a closing wall. On the human flagship, Captain Elias Rowan watched the damage reports. "Enemy fleet is collapsing," an officer said. "Many ships are surrendering." Captain Rowan nodded slowly. "Do not target ships that power down," he ordered. "We are not here to hunt the helpless." The order spread across the fleet. Human ships adjusted fire. Those who stopped fighting were spared. Those who continued were erased. The Zyron commander's ship shook violently. "Commander," an officer cried. "Our fleet is breaking apart. We cannot regroup." The commander looked at the screen in disbelief. This was not how wars ended. "Open all channels," he ordered. "Send a message to every ship." The transmission echoed through space. "This is the Zyron Alliance," the commander said. His voice trembled. "Cease fire. Power down weapons. The humans cannot be stopped." Many alien captains obeyed at once. Ships went dark. Engines shut down. Others refused. Those ships were destroyed in seconds. The lesson was clear. On the human side, the crew felt the weight of victory. These ships were old. The cost was high. Many were damaged. But they had not failed. "These ships should not still be flying," a human officer whispered. Captain Rowan replied quietly, "They fly because they must." Across the battlefield, alien survivors watched the human fleet with terror. "They are not like us," one alien said. "They fight even when broken. They do not rely on perfect machines." A Zyron scientist spoke with fear in his voice. "These ships were built after humans nearly destroyed themselves. They learned to fight without mercy, and without pride." The Zyron commander closed his eyes. "We laughed at them," he said. "And now, we will be remembered for that mistake." The human fleet stopped advancing. They held position among burning wreckage. A human message broadcast across space. "This battle is over," Captain Rowan said. "Withdraw. Remember what you saw here." The Zyron survivors did not argue. They fled. Damaged ships limped away. Jump drives activated in panic. Within minutes, the battlefield belonged to humanity. Silence returned. Only the sound of damaged hulls and distant explosions remained. On the human flagship, medics moved quickly. Engineers worked to keep systems alive. The cost of the battle was real. Captain Rowan looked around the bridge. "We held," he said. "That is enough." But far away beyond human sensors, something else was watching. Other species. Other powers. They had seen the battle. They had seen the Relic fleet awaken. And they had learned something important. Never laugh at human ships. Never call them relics. Because relics are what survive when everything else is gone. The galaxy was afraid now. And fear spreads fast. News of the battle spread faster than any ship. Across the galaxy, sensors had recorded everything. The moment the human Relic fleet awakened. The moment the Zyron Alliance fell. Other species watched in silence. They replayed the recordings again and again. Ancient human ships. Outdated designs. Destroyed a modern superpower. Many could not understand it. In alien councils and command halls, fear replaced confidence. How did humans win? They were outnumbered. They used old technology. The answer was simple. Humans remembered war. On the human side, the Relic fleet regrouped. Damaged ships moved slowly. Engineers worked without rest. Some ships would never fly again. But the fleet still stood. Captain Elias Rowan addressed the fleet. "You fought well," he said. "These ships carried you as they carried those before you." No cheering followed. Humans did not celebrate survival. They respected it. In a distant alien system, a council of elder species met in secret. The Zyron believed humans were weak, one elder said. They believed time had defeated them. Another replied, time did not defeat humans. It trained them. The council watched footage of human ships fighting. They used simple systems, an elder said. Manual control. Physical weapons. Because they learned, another answered. They learned that perfect systems fail. The fear grew. Human fleets were not the largest, not the fastest, not the most advanced, but they endured. Back at the battlefield, the human fleet began repairs. Captain Rowan stood alone looking at the stars. These ships should be retired, an officer said behind him. Rowan nodded. They were retired once. The officer looked confused. They were put to sleep, Rowan continued. But sleep is not death. The Relic fleet had been built after humanity's darkest time. When humans were surrounded by enemies. When defeat was close. These ships were built to fight alone. To survive when help never came. That memory lived inside every hull. Across the galaxy, alien fleets changed plans. Borders closed. Wars paused. Human space was marked in red. A warning. Do not provoke humans, messages spread. Do not corner them. Do not awaken their past. The Zyron survivors sent one final transmission before vanishing into deep space. We were wrong, the message said. Human relics are not old. They are lessons. On the human flagship, Captain Rowan received reports. Multiple alien fleets are retreating from human borders. Trade channels reopening. No hostile movements. Rowan looked at the stars. Humanity had not conquered the galaxy. But it had reminded the galaxy of something important. Humans do not forget how to fight. They do not forget pain. And they do not forget survival. The Relic fleet powered down slowly. Engines dimmed. Weapons cooled. Old systems returned to sleep. But the galaxy would never sleep the same way again. Humanity had spoken. And the message was clear. The battlefield grew quiet. Burning wreckage drifted between the stars. Broken alien ships slowly faded into darkness. What remained was silence. The human Relic fleet stayed still. No victory signals. No loud messages. No celebration. They had done what they came to do. Captain Elias Rowan stood on the bridge and looked at the damage reports. Many ships were wounded. Some would never fly again. Names of lost crews scrolled quietly across the screen. He bowed his head. "These ships carried us again," he said softly. Across the fleet, crews worked in silence. They repaired what they could. They honored the dead without words. Far away, alien observers watched the scene. They expected humans to chase survivors. They expected punishment. Instead, they saw restraint. "This is why they are dangerous," one alien observer said. "They know when to stop." The Relic fleet began to withdraw. One by one, human ships turned away from the battlefield. Engines burned low. Ancient systems powered down. The stars still glowed with fire behind them. That fire became a message. Across the galaxy, recordings spread. Not from humans but from those who watched. "This is what happens," the message said, "when you laugh at humanity's past." Alien governments reacted quickly. Borders shifted. Treaties were signed. Human space was left untouched. No fleet moved toward it again. In one distant system, a young alien asked an elder, "Why didn't the humans destroy everyone?" The elder answered slowly, "Because they did not need to. They were not proving power," he continued. "They were giving a warning." Back on the human flagship, Captain Rowan gave his final order. "Send the fleet home." The Relic ships entered hyperspace. As they vanished, space returned to darkness. But the galaxy did not forget. Every species remembered the same lesson. Do not judge humans by what they look like. Do not judge them by old metal. Do not laugh at relics. Because human relics are built from survival. And survival is stronger than time. Somewhere in human space, deep beneath layers of armor, ancient systems slept again. Not broken. Not gone. Just waiting. The warning had been written in fire. And the galaxy had read it.